Don't overthink it. Don't worry about it. Just go. What is the worst that could happen? Think about that. All right, don't think about that. If you're planning a long motorcycle adventure and you're looking for some advice, well, I just crossed the United States, 3,000 plus miles in 8 days on a Moto Guzzi V85 TT. And while I'm no expert, I do have a few things I can share. Let's just say you're doing a extended tour, not a lot of sightseeing. Basically, you're trying to get from one place to the other, have some fun, crunch some miles, but not spend the entire time on the highways and the freeways and the interstates. First and foremost, you need the right bike, you need the right gear, and you need the right mental attitude. As far as the bike goes, my bike, the Moto Guzzi V85 TT, has been perfect for the type of riding I've been doing on this trip. I've done everything from small one-lane roads through whatever state that was, to wind-blown 2-lane stretches of straightness through North Dakota, to freeways in Hamilton, Ontario, in Canada, to the back roads of the Northeast and soon New England. This bike has done everything I've asked it to and more. All of the bike stuff aside, you know, like fuel economy and speed, engine performance and all that, the most important thing about the bike is that it's comfortable for you. This bike magically is super comfortable for me. This is my 8th day, again, almost exactly 3,000 miles, and I have no aches, no pains, none whatsoever. My back is fine, my hands are okay, my legs feel fine. Everything is just set up so perfect for me on this bike. Now, this bike may not be perfect for you and your body type. So my suggestion is make sure that your bike fits you. And if it doesn't fit you perfectly, you can always make adjustments. Move handlebars back and forth, or get risers and rise them up. Get a Alaska butt pad for your seat if you need one. All kinds of things you can do. The second thing is gear. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but I hate this jacket. But it's functionally pretty great. It has all the zippers to vent and all the padding and shit. Underneath this jacket, I'm wearing an Alpine Stars Tech Air 5, I think it's called, the airbag system. It's one of the reasons why I wore this jacket on this trip. It's because I really wanted to just have that added safety of having an airbag vest. Plus, I think I promised my mom I would. So, airbag vest, stupid jacket. I'm wearing the rattiest of jeans right now that Ladybug sewed up for me with old bandanas. I've had these jeans for over 20 years. I love them. They're cut off. They've got holes everywhere. I absolutely just adore these jeans. But I'm not obviously just wearing jeans. I wouldn't wear an airbag vest and gloves and a helmet and then just go out in ripped jeans. Underneath the jeans, I have the Pando CE AAA rated leggings that would probably hold up in a MotoGP crash. So I can wear anything on top of them. And today I'm wearing the old ratty jeans that Ladybug sewed up for me before I left. Because I'm ridiculous. The last super important thing, of course, is the mental attitude. I went into this trip overthinking every single ounce of it because I built it up in my head as this epic adventure, you know, bug versus the road and whatever. You know what? It's just been a nice long ride. It's not some epic triumph over evil. It's a friggin' motorcycle ride, or 8 of them across the country, and yeah, it's had its moments where it's been really hard, but you know, I'm not saving babies over here. I'm not laying bricks, for Christ's sakes. I'm riding a motorcycle, staying in motels in clean beds, well, for the most part. The biggest thing I'm suffering through right now is the lack of a good cup of coffee. I think I'm going to be fine. If you're planning a trip like this, go easy on yourself. You don't have to have every little piece of the thing planned, and you don't have to have everything perfect. It doesn't matter what jacket you wear as long as it's, safe, right? You all have your own level of safety you need to achieve. Achieve your level of safety and don't worry about anything else. It doesn't matter. No one cares what you look like. I think, well, no one cares what I look like, but I have to go on camera and make videos. You don't care what I look like. I could be in a tutu. Wait, I've done that. I could be in a bikini and, well, no one wants that. You get my point. No one gives a shit what I look like, what you look like. It doesn't matter. Just go, right? Prepare for the worst, but don't, harp on it. Chances are everything's going to be just fine. If I had to count in 3,000 miles the number of close calls I've had on the roads, with other drivers and stuff, I can count them on like 3 fingers, and none of them were serious. All of them I saw coming and was able to avoid. If you're like obsessing over, oh my god, I'm gonna get killed the second I leave the house on this adventure, you know what? You're probably not. I mean, probably. Take it easy. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about it. Just go. What is the worst that could happen? Think about that. Alright, don't think about that. Okay, so it's a day or 2 or 3 before you leave for your big adventure, and you're just starting to pack your stuff. I don't know how many people told me this, but a lot of people told me, once you get your stuff packed, get rid of half of it. And I said, yeah, that's easy for you to say, but I've got a kitchen sink I need to take, right? I'm taking my toilet, obviously. I'm taking the washer and dryer, because where am I going to do laundry? Anyway, I did exactly this. I packed all of my stuff, and I looked at it, and I was instantly like, oh God, what have you done? And then I tried to lift it, and I was like, no. And so I unpacked everything. And I got rid of at least half of my clothes. I got rid of a bunch of stuff, and just pared down to the stuff I knew I absolutely need. And I still have too much stuff, but I have a manageable amount of stuff, and I'm so glad I did it, because not carrying around so much baggage makes life so much easier. The other thing I'll say about packing cubes are your friend. Now, I already had some packing cubes that I've used on trips before, but Lone Rider sent me a whole bunch of packing cubes that all sort of match in color, and they're all expandable, and they're 3 or 4 different sizes. And so I packed all of my main clothes into one, I packed my socks and underwear into another, and I packed my flip-flops, a hat, a belt, and a couple other little clothy type things in another one. And that whole system pretty much takes up almost an entire one of these moto bags, the panniers. And I tell you, man, it is so nice to get to the hotel, open this thing up, and have basically 4 things in your bag. There's no clutter. There's no like fishing around for shit in your bag. You want a pair of pants, you take out the clothes bag, you unzip it, and you reach in and you grab a pair of pants. You zip it back up, you put it back in, and you're cool. I am now religious about packing cubes. I'm going to order another set from Lone Rider so that I can have a set for each one of my panniers. It really makes a huge difference. The ability to quickly remove your panniers and bring them into your hotel, I can't even tell you how much of a game changer that is. I had another set of panniers on my Tiger 900, and they were fantastic. Totally over-engineered in the best way possible, but they were a real pain in the ass to get on and off, to the point where I didn't feel like taking them on and off. So I don't know. It just made the process, I don't know, irritating. With these, you put the key in, you unlock it, you lift a little lever, and they pop right off. And it's that easy to put them back on. It honestly takes 10 seconds. And that's like if you're fumbling. It's just fantastic. I can't stress enough. Also, the tank bag and the tail bag both also come off and put on easily. Especially for the tank bag, because I have to sort of remove it partially to fill the gas tank and all that stuff. If that's a pain in the ass, you're gonna dread getting gas every time. You're just gonna be like, oh, I have to deal with this bullshit. This, it's like two fidlock things. Do. You pull it back and you're done. And then to put it back, you just basically just put them together. They magnetize together and you're done. It's fantastic. When it comes to lodging, now, I'm a big motel fan. I like motels because usually you can get a room that faces the parking lot so you can sort of look out and keep an eye on your bike, which is good for your peace of mind. What I really love is a motel that has a ground level room with its own door. Not like, not like a hotel where you have to go in a hallway inside the building to get to your room. Like the door faces the parking lot and like it's your door. And so like this morning, when I was packing out, I left my door open, I walked in, got my shit, brought it to the bike, which was right in front of the door. And I did that like 20 times because I don't know, I was just dicking around, wasting time because it was fun. I don't know. It's fun when you're able to do that instead of having to get a cart from downstairs, go up to the third floor, put all your stuff on the cart, bring it down, do your thing, bring the cart back, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's my favorite, and that's my huge suggestion is if you can find motels that are actual motels with your own door and stuff. Alternatively, a lot of motels are like that, but they don't have the doors, right? You have to go through the inside down a long hallway to get to your room. You can still get a room facing the parking lot and park your bike basically right in front of your window so you can at least see your bike. And then you can do the cart thing to take your bags in and out of the motel. Also on lodging, and I mentioned this before, free breakfast is your friend. It saves you time, so you don't have to stop. You just run to the thing and get your free breakfast. And it saves you money because it's already paid for. The downside is it's usually goddamn terrible. This morning at the Red Roof Inn, they should be arrested for calling that breakfast. It should be illegal. It was like bagels the size of a quarter that go into a toaster that was too big. So you put the friggin' bagels in to toast them, and then you have to stick your fingers basically in the toaster to get the bagels out. And I just burned the place down. I hated it so much. The only saving grace is they had a waffle machine, which I don't think I've ever used a waffle machine in a motel, maybe like once. I had no idea how it worked. I poured the shit on, I closed it up, and it started beeping at me, and I'm like, what do you want? And then I realized you had to turn it over, and so I turned it over, and it did a countdown. And then it started beeping, but I didn't know if you're supposed to turn it back. Oh, I don't know. It was terrible. The waffle was pretty good, though. As far as the ride goes, as motorcyclists, I think we're all tempted to want to, push the limits as far as speed goes. The speed limits, if you will. What I found on Route 2, going across Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, wherever the hell else I went, the speed limit was usually 70, and I never really exceeded it. I put my cruise control on, set it to 70, and I just went. And I don't feel like I got anywhere slower than I would have if I had really just barreled down the highway. Like, not noticeable. Obviously I did because of physics. But what I'm saying is, say I set my thingamabob for 80 miles an hour. Now, I'm wasting a lot more gas, and on this bike, that's a lot more gas for whatever reason. The difference between 70 and 80 is like, it's a lot. I'm also like looking out behind every tree to make sure there's no cops, because I don't want to get a ticket or, whatever they do in Montana. They probably shoot you on the spot, which, more power to them. All I'm saying is, it's a lot more relaxing to just stick to the speed limit, throw your cruise control on, eliminate that whole problem, and just enjoy life and the scenery and the crosswinds and the near-death experiences you're going to have in North Dakota. One thing that surprised me, and it continues to surprise me, is that it wasn't nearly as warm on this trip as I thought it would have been. I was really expecting it to be like 80s, 90s, hot as balls. There were times when I had 14 layers on and I was freezing. Even right now, it's only 65 and it's hazy, the sun's not out, and I'm not cold, but I'm not warm. As far as enjoying yourself on a motorcycle adventure like this, one of the biggest things is climate control for yourself. If you're cold, you're just going to be absolutely miserable. And once you get cold, it's really hard to shake it because it just compounds over the hours. You just get, even if the temperature doesn't change, you just get colder and colder and colder. Your body just starts to, I don't know, go into hypothermia or whatever the hell happens. And it just gets miserable. By the time you get to where you're going, you're just a frozen ice cube. Alternatively, being way too hot is no fun either, and it's also not safe. You know, you get too hot, you could pass out while you're riding, and trust me when I tell you, that almost happened to me once. In fact, on one of my last adventures, the temperatures got up to like 115 or something horrible, and by the end of the day, I went into a grocery store with my friends, and I nearly passed out in the deli. Honest to God, because it was just, I don't know, I was so hot and it was so humid, and then all of a sudden I'm cold because I'm in a grocery store in the deli, and it hit me, and I almost went right down. If that had happened to me while I was riding, who knows what would have happened. So, you know, stay cool, my friends. Stay cool. Climate control for yourself is hugely important, is what I'm trying to say. Don't not pack layers. Even if you have to, pack a cheap mesh riding jacket to supplement like this stupid thing if you know it's going to get real hot, because you don't want to be stuck in a jacket like this in 115 degree weather. Thankfully, I had one of those cheap mesh jackets. Well, it wasn't cheap, but I had a Revit mesh jacket that I wore on that tour, and it saved my ass. And back to the bike, is, you know, obviously maintenance is important. I checked my oil levels every night. I checked my tire pressure constantly because I have a tire pressure monitoring system. But, you know, it's a good idea to check it manually too, just to be sure. I have this rechargeable tire inflator that I carry with me along with my patch kit, well, the plug kit type thing. And, you know, if I need to top off a tire, it's real easy. I just screw it on and press a button and it goes. But that's super important to keep your tires in shape, not only for safety, but for fuel economy. You know, if they go low, you're going to be burning gas for no reason. I do the walk around and check my lights every once in a while, but I don't obsess over that because, I mean, in all of the years I've been riding, I think I've had one headlight blown. So I'm not too worried about that, but I do check it once in a while. On a bike like this, I love you, Moto Guzzi. I love you, Italian engineering and all that stuff, and manufacturing and stuff. But I will go around and check bolts because, you know, sometimes they magically come loose. You know, like the bolts on the end of your grips or whatever that hold your handguards on. The fly screen bolts, stuff like that. Just go around, give them a quick look, give them a quick with my Allen wrench, and just make sure everything's snugged up. You don't want something falling off on the road. I'll tell you one thing, not having a chain is a total game changer. I haven't had to worry about cleaning my chain once because I don't have a chain. It's fantastic. Highly recommended. I will tell you one thing that's kind of bumming me out. There is some sort of weird little oil leak going on. It's nothing catastrophic because my oil level really isn't changing. But there is some oil on the side of the engine block starting halfway down and going down. Now this is weird. I noticed a little tiny bit of weeping of oil on the engine block in a place where it shouldn't be weeping. There's nothing there. And I took it to the Moto Guzzi dealer in Portland, and I showed him, and just before I left, and we both kind of agreed, yeah, that's kind of weird, but you've been riding it for a long time, and it hasn't actually caused any problems, so I wouldn't worry about it. We'll deal with it when you get home. If you do lose a little bit of oil, you're only going to lose a little. You can top it up. It's no big deal. And I agreed, and I still agree. It is no big deal. However, it's concerning. After I get to the Cape, I'm going to take the motorcycle to Gill, Massachusetts, to this mechanic who's supposed to be fantastic, and they're going to do my 6,000 mile oil change anyway, so I'm going to have them take a look at that, and hopefully it's just something loose. Anyway, my point is, I don't obsess over stuff like that. I used to, but I just, after you've ridden thousands upon thousands upon thousands of miles, you kind of just come to expect the little things, and you know what's catastrophic and what's not. And I know this isn't catastrophic. It's just annoying. I guess my biggest piece of advice after, let's see how many exact miles. It's 3,000 plus 84 miles, so 3,084 miles. My advice after 3,084 miles of this adventure across the United States, my biggest advice, just do it. It's so worth it. It's so much fun. It's fun, not like you're jumping up and down and ripping your shirt off and chugging tequila. It's fun you just feel like you're doing something, right? Nothing important, but you're doing something kind of epic for you. Don't worry if no one else cares and no one else thinks it's epic. It's epic. You got to do it, and you'll have a memory for the rest of your life. And I know what's going to happen. It's already starting to happen. Because, again, I really am only halfway through. I'm not even halfway through this trip, because my trip home is going to be a lot longer than the trip out here. The trip out here was just to get here. The trip home is going to be some meandering bullshit. But I know what's going to happen, and it's going to happen in a small way when I get to Cape Cod, is I'm going to hit a depression. I always get depressed when I have to end a trip and get off the bike and not ride. Right? And so I'm going to be off the bike and not riding for a few days on Cape Cod, and then I'm going to get home back to Portland, and I am going to need some medication because I'm going to be super depressed. But anyway, get out and do this. You can do this. Trust me, there's nothing super hard about this, especially if you're smart, unlike me. But do this, because life, as they say, is a little bit on the short side, and you really owe it to yourself to get out on the road and see this country, or any country, whatever country you're from. That's my big advice. Take it or leave it. But I'm an expert now. You can trust me. I'm on the internet.